The Deike Center for Visual Rehabilitation began as the dream of two caring men. Both men were visually impaired. Both men felt the pain and the agony of suffering of visual loss. Both men wondered, wasn't there some way, some process, some training, some tools to help them maximize the vision they had left? In 1986, in Wheaton, Illinois, in a little yellow house, this dream began. At that time, in the United States, there was probably 10 to 13 million people afflicted with a visual loss. When you're challenged with a visual loss, I think you feel anger, frustration, and depression. And I think to some extent, you feel that suddenly life is going to change for the worst.
I've worked hard my whole life. I couldn't wait for retirement. More time for me. More time for the things I love. I've made all kinds of plans. Losing my sight wasn't one of them.
People come in here asking for lots of things. A driver's license again, being able to see a grandchild's face across the room, being able to see their own face in the mirror, being able to read, balancing their checkbooks. We hear many, many requests. Well, we can't cure their visual problems. We can begin to show them the hope of learning how to maximize the vision the person still has. The first thing when someone comes in is the encounter they have with our staff. An encounter that is probing into what that person's needs are, listening to what the person has to say, and what the impact of the visual loss is to their life. Listening is a very important start. The next thing is really helping to direct that person for real hope, supported by science. After listening to what the patients have told us, we begin to teach the patient what's wrong and what they can do about it.
My children are grown now. They send pictures. I put them in my photo album. I know my grandchildren are beautiful. I wish I could see their faces.
Once you cross that first important bridge, the bridge of acceptance, now it's time to roll up your sleeves and learn how you can maximize your remaining sight. Empowerment is what it's all about. Independence is what it's all about. And the bottom line is giving people a menu of choices.
Building my own business was hard. So many sacrifices. So many hours away from my family. How do I tell them everything's changed? How do I tell them I might lose my business?
There's a lot of people out there that are gainfully employed that suddenly lose sight. And suddenly there's overwhelming pressures. How are you going to keep this job? And the crises of the family structure when an individual loses sight. There are so many exciting things happening in the high-tech field right now. We now have different types of computer hookups that you can scan documents in, and the person can actually have whatever was on that document read to them right off the computer screen.
Voice portals met the web talk back. David L. Chat. How to speak so you.
The new types of enhancement software are allowing people to access websites. They're getting into the internet, word processing, communicating ideas and thoughts. I think being closed out from high technology would be a tragedy.
There's so much pressure growing up. They want you to be successful. They want you to do well in school. They tell you, plan for the future. But how can I, when the present is so unclear?
Unfortunately, visual losses don't spare any age group. It can tragically happen to an infant. It can happen while a child is in grade school or perhaps when they're in high school. I think early intervention is critical. We've heard this in the medical field for years. And I think it's a shame if young children don't have the opportunity at a very young age, early in the educational process, to know what tools could help them through this journey. The Seeing is Believing program began in 1991 by going to the child's school where the teachers and the parents could be present. We were able to provide a service where, one, we educated everybody about what the visual problem was. Two, we showed tools to help the student maximize their sight and be included in things. And three, probably most importantly, we began to help children realize that visual losses don't determine how happy or how successful they will be. This program for the children opens up doors that they didn't think could ever be opened. I think the key ingredients of our success is we can see potential in every single person that comes through our center. Being able to see potential and having the confidence with the training and abilities that we have goes a long way to tickling the human spirit of people challenged with a visual loss. All we really do is plant seeds here. We plant seeds and cultivate it a bit, but it's the people that are so inspiring. I think the whole point here is giving people hope again, supported by science. It's the mission. It's the mission. It's the people, and it's seeing how you impact someone's life every day.